tonight.
The up and down, it don't consistent, so I just go with the flow.
Another price hike is hitting the gas pumps. We hear from Londoners who say they are disappointed by rising costs. Plus,
the best thing to do, turn yourself in, put your hands up and let it happen.
The search continues for the prime suspect in a shooting death that took place outside a Lambton College pub 2 weeks ago. And a new virtual reality program is helping seniors with dementia stay active.
I noticed change in self-confidence.
CTV News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Another price hike is hitting the pumps just 1 week after a 10-cent per liter gas tax kicked in. Sean Irvin spoke with Londoners who say they're frustrated by rising costs.
The fluctuating price at the pump has not gone unnoticed by London motorist Alfonso Goldburn.
The up and down, it don't consistent, so I just go with the flow.
But with a pickup truck to fill, his flow does not include any gas pumps in London. Alfonso instead visits gas stations located on nearby First Nations.
I get a little cheaper gas. If you buy in the city, it's really pricey, so I ignore the city.
But for drivers who need to keep filling their tanks to put food on their table, a drive out of town to find affordable gas isn't always an option. This online food delivery driver is paying a lot more to fill the tank of his small car.
$85.
And how much was it 6 months ago? Probably $60, right?
Yeah, it's $60.
Now, many delivery companies are offering relief options to their drivers, DoorDash among them. Its program offers drivers the equivalent of about 36 cents a liter in fuel savings. However, that program ends this weekend. In an announcement on its website, DoorDash tells Canadian drivers that it will continue to closely monitor the impact of gas prices. Still, the hikes remain a worry.
It's a little bit hurts me, and it's very expensive for me.
And with multiple gas price prediction apps forecasting another 3 to 4 cents a liter price hike on Saturday in London, it seems oil relief is far off.
It'll take a lot longer, perhaps well through summer, before we start to see major relief in oil getting back to the prices that they were just before the invasion, so about $65 to $68 a barrel.
Which leaves Alfonso wondering if the 10-cent a liter tax cut announced by the Prime Minister is actually making a difference.
I thought when he reduced it, it was something going to be stay where it is. And all of a sudden he went back up, so I don't see the point of it.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre was in Mississauga today calling for the elimination of gas taxes for the remainder of the year. The Conservative leader indicated that Mark Carney's temporary suspension of the federal excise tax is not enough.
Under his plan, Canadians are forced to continue to pay 15 cents per liter every time they gas up, even during this short-term suspension of the excise tax. Conservatives, by contrast, want to get rid of all three taxes.
Poilievre wants to see the excise tax on gas and diesel removed for the entire year instead of just from April 20th to September 7th. He also wants to get rid of the carbon tax and the GST on fuel. The Conservatives say that would save Canadians $1,200 for the remainder of the year, $20 for each fill-up, and 25 cents per liter. Another union representing first responders in our region has reached an impasse at the bargaining table. Paramedics who serve London and Middlesex County have been working without a contract for 16 months and could go to binding arbitration this summer. CTV's Daryl Newcomb has the details.
The life-saving skills of paramedics are priceless when emergencies happen, but it's proven much harder to find agreement on what's a fair salary in a new contract.
We're at loggerheads on these things, and the die is cast.
The president of OPSU Local 147 says they've been working without a contract since the end of 2024, and binding arbitration could begin this summer. Andrew Swan says one of the primary stumbling blocks is bringing a paramedic's pay in line with other first responders.
Ballpark, paramedics, when they're bringing in $90,000 to $95,000 a year. A firefighter or police constable is bringing in between 110 and 120.
In addition, part-time paramedics are currently required to work at least one shift per week. The union isn't willing to increase that minimum if it means some experienced members are forced out of work because there are periods of time each year when they can't work more than that.
Not making the work conditions untenable for certain valuable, experienced, more senior part-time staff, and making sure that they're able to remain in the workplace.
According to Swan, twice in 2025, tentative deals were brought before his membership, but on both occasions, they failed to get enough votes to be ratified. The Middlesex London Paramedic Service tells CTV News in a statement, quote, "As negotiations are ongoing, it would not be appropriate to comment at this time. We remain focused on working collaboratively to reach an agreement." Swan acknowledges there's been a lot of agreement about improving language in the contract, but unless the Middlesex London Paramedic Service move from their current position, arbitration might be unavoidable.
It's not great to wait, and it's not great to have those expenses. You also, once an arbitrator makes a decision, you're bound to it, so you can get that kind of split the child down the middle decision where nobody walks away happy.
As an essential service, paramedics are forbidden from going on strike, and both sides have committed to maintain reliable, high-quality care in spite of the contract dispute. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. An advancing cold front increasing the cloudiness across southern Ontario. It's extensive, reaching into northern central Ontario. And of course, we're also looking at the potential of thunderstorm activity. It's already brought some showers through the Lake St. Clair region. Further east it goes. And by around 8 p.m., we'll see about an 80 to 90% chance of seeing showers. Already increasing cloudiness. The winds have perked up a bit. East-southeasterlies sustained at almost 30 km with gusts close to 40 within the last hour. And barometric pressure is dropping, an indication of unsettled weather headed our way. I'll break down what you need to know. A rainy night ahead. Could it last for the entire weekend? I'll answer that question as well. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk. Lauren?
Thanks, Gary. Police have charged a young person after an alleged hate-motivated attack on an elderly person in Woodstock. It happened late Wednesday morning near Turtle Island School. Video of the incident shows a boy shoving a sick man and yelling racist comments. The man was not injured. Police say after the altercation, the suspect jumped a fence onto school property and was later arrested. The boy is charged with assault, uttering threats, and criminal harassment. It's been 2 weeks since the shooting death of a 20-year-old man outside a Lambton College pub in Sarnia, with the prime suspect still on the run. As Brian Bicknell reports, if he doesn't surrender peacefully, it could end badly for him.
With a Canada-wide warrant out for his arrest, CTV News public safety analyst Chris Lewis says he believes it's just a matter of time before police catch up with accused killer Kiao Chin-do. That is, if he doesn't turn himself in before. If he resists, it could spell his demise.
At this point, police are looking for an alleged killer. And when the time comes that some law enforcement officer stops him somewhere, finds him just by happenstance, or a tactical team goes in on him because they know where he is, either way, his options are put up your hands, cooperate, get down to the floor when they tell them to, or be prepared to be killed.
The latest photos released of 24-year-old Doe highlight visible tattoos, a tiger wearing a crown, a dagger through the heart under the eye, a broken heart with angel wings on fire, and a small cross under the eye.
It'll be fairly easy to identify, I believe.
Doe is charged with second-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and a firearms offense after a shooting outside the Lion's Den pub on the Lambton College campus April 10th. 20-year-old Dane Nisbet of Sarnia died in hospital, while 2 of his friends suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Also charged with second-degree murder is 23-year-old Odom Richard Bunn of London, who remains in custody, while 2 Sarnia residents are charged with various offenses, including accessory after the fact. Doe's last known address is Booley Street in London, and Sarnia police have already been here canvassing the area a number of times, searching for clues to help locate him. Legal experts say anyone found to be harboring the suspect could themselves face serious consequences.
Somebody could be facing a significant time in prison for just assisting.
Legal analyst, criminal lawyer Jim Dean says if he were Doe's counsel, his advice would be turn yourself in.
Someone who has a defense, has more to the story, would turn themselves in, would then go through the process. It'll certainly impact him on bail, because the Crown, I expect, would put forth a position that he is a flight risk.
Call a lawyer. You can tell your side of the story at that time. In the meantime, the police have a warrant for your arrest. So the best thing to do, turn yourself in, put your hands up and let it happen.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The daughter of a residential school survivor who cheated her mother out of a $150,000 government settlement check was sentenced today in a London courtroom. With more on the court's decision, here's CTV's Nick Paparella.
While handing down his sentencing decision, Justice Kevin McHugh took his time, describing how 56-year-old Ursula Dockstader ripped off her own elderly mother to the tune of $150,000. The judge said this was an egregious breach of trust, and the fraud was significant. Dockstader was the power of attorney for her mother, Caroline, who lives in the States. In September of 2023, Dockstader got a hold of her mother's residential school settlement check. It was issued after a class action lawsuit was settled with the Canadian government. Dockstader lied about the total amount to her mother and then put the check in her own bank account. In a matter of weeks, the money was almost all gone. 11 months ago, Dockstader, a former Oneida Nation of the Thames Band councillor, was found guilty of one count of fraud over $5,000 and one count of uttering forged documents. When speaking about the victim, Justice McHugh said this offense has significantly impacted her. He went on, the victim in this case was elderly and vulnerable. She trusted her daughter would handle everything with care. The Crown was calling for 2 years in custody, with the defense asking that the sentence be stayed due to a lengthy delay in getting the Gladue report completed, which looks into the background of an Indigenous offender. Justice McHugh agreed with the delay, but called this a serious case. He then sentenced Dockstader to 15 months house arrest with an ankle monitor, followed by 2 years probation, along with a restitution order to pay back the Bank of Montreal more than $88,000. In the end, the court heard the mother is being compensated for any financial loss she suffered. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Provincial police have laid charges following a fatal crash near Seaforth earlier this year. Emergency crews were called to Northline February 17th for a crash between a pickup truck and a car. The 84-year-old sedan driver was rushed to the hospital but died 3 days later. Today, police announced the 36-year-old truck driver is charged with careless driving causing death. Police did not release the name of the accused. A Huron County nonprofit is trying to normalize cancer screening in rural Ontario during a shortage of family physicians. As Scott Miller reports, their plan has earned them a sizable grant.
For years now, the Gateway Centre for Excellence in Rural Health in Goderich has been delivering important cancer screening information directly to farmers, firefighters, and seniors in public, non-clinical settings.
We meet our people at their level.
Devereaux says Gateway's Shed Talks, where they conduct health discussions with farmers in sheds and barns across Huron and Perth County, or the Legion Learning Lounge, where they layer in cancer screening information while solving tech issues for seniors, are important because 20,000 Huron-Perth residents don't have a family physician to ask those important health questions to.
I think people are traditionally, me as well, we went to our primary care practitioner, and that's where we went for guidance, right? And now with the shortage of family physicians across rural areas, we need to layer in some help for our rural residents to get the information that they so desperately need.
For their efforts to normalize cancer screening conversations outside those typical health settings, the Gateway Center has received a $100,000 award from the Mars Discovery District and Canadian Cancer Society through their Rural and Remote Community Cancer Screening Challenge.
No surprise to a nonprofit charity that depends on grants and donations. This is a thrill to have this fund to really advance cancer screening in our rural area.
Devereaux says Gateway plans to expand their layered cancer screening initiative to pharmacies and nurse practitioners across Huron-Perth because while more Canadians than ever before are being diagnosed with cancer, largely due to our aging population, more people are surviving cancer than ever before as well because of advanced treatments and early diagnosis.
It's going to become easier for people to be screened than it ever has been. So we want to be on top of that new information and make sure we get it out to our rural people.
In Huron County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Coming up, as the world scrambles for new energy supplies, Ottawa moves to secure British Columbia's domestic supply of natural gas. Plus, as gas prices rise again, a New Brunswick gas station challenges the major retailers with gas sales.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
The Princess Margaret Lottery, it's the final deadline midnight tonight. The last chance to enter the draw to win the grand prize. An $8 million Thornhill show home plus $500,000 in cash. We're celebrating 30 years of support from the community. There are over 11,000 prizes to be awarded, valued at over $9 million. Over 90% of the tickets are sold, so get yours now. And don't forget to add the 50-50 jackpot. It's nearly $6 million. The cash calendar as well, with 100 days of winning and a $250,000 grand prize, plus $30,000 on Fridays, $5,000 daily, and $10,000 bonus cash prizes of $25. The Wanderlust add-on, in which 10 winners will choose from one of 10 prize vacations or take $70,000 in cash. It's a chance to win life-changing prizes and helps fund life-saving cancer research at the Princess Margaret. Buy online at princessmargaretlotto.com or call 1-866-631-1234.
The federal government has approved a $4 billion expansion of Enbridge's pipeline system on British Columbia's west coast. The company says the natural gas project is shovel-ready, and the Liberals are touting it as another big project approval. CTV's Rachel Aiello has more.
Today, Enbridge's $4 billion BC natural gas pipeline expansion got the green light, adding capacity and fortifying a West Coast liquefied natural gas project.
This expansion ensures British Columbia has enough gas to supply an LNG export facility like Woodfibre LNG, which will be the first net zero LNG export facility in the world.
The project will add approximately 140 kilometers of new pipeline by constructing 11 pipeline looping segments parallel to the existing line.
Well, it's pretty small, relatively speaking. So 300 million cubic feet a day is, in the context of what we do in Western Canada, is probably 16 or 18 billion cubic feet a day of gas production right now.
Construction will begin this summer, and the government says the expansion is set to add more than $3 billion to Canada's GDP, generate more than $700 million in tax revenue, and create 2,500 jobs, including for local Indigenous communities.
I think this comes at an important time. There's a lot of economic uncertainty in the world, and Canada's economy needs these kinds of jobs.
In a statement, Enbridge's CEO said, "We're excited about the role this project will play in increasing economic prosperity and energy security." But critics say this expansion took far too long to approve, given the Liberals' promise of record speed, and that in the future, major projects need to start moving way faster.
There have been lots of announcements, lots of press releases, lots of news coverage about bureaucratic busy work, but not a lot of results.
Canada's energy regulator greenlit the project with 47 binding conditions related to environmental protection, safety, and Indigenous engagement. It's expected to be operational by 2028. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Fuel prices went up across the Maritimes today, but at a gas station just outside Fredericton, prices not only stayed the same, they dropped. You could call it a gas sale. CTV's Laura Brown reports.
It's an unusual move in this economy, but people are not complaining. So you're impressed by the price?
Yes, very impressed by the price. I was shocked, really.
This locally owned gas station outside Fredericton city limits had its price set just under $1.66 on Friday. Up the road, it was 8 cents more. The station has been doing these gas sales every now and then for the last few months. The owner says he's not a fan of big business and wants to help the little guy.
Give him a break because people can't afford gas. That's the biggest struggling thing in our New Brunswick right now. And what do you think in Canada?
How does he do it? Corey says he makes money from his water and ice business and moves that revenue over to cover the loss at the pumps. How low can you go?
You go low as you want. Last Friday, I went down 19 cents. Did I lose money? I lost major money. But I made money on other things, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing it for everybody. Puts a smile on my face.
And these days, smiles are hard to come by at gas stations. Prices went up overnight across the Maritimes, an increase of over 10 cents a litre in the Halifax area. And while some say they've gotten used to it, it doesn't make it any easier.
I'm retired. I'm on a fixed income, and I mean, you could feel it. You could really feel it.
It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it, or I can do about it personally, so pay it or stay home.
But this sale was enough to see a steady flow of motorists stopping in, customers new and old, very appreciative.
He helps his community. He's got a water business. He's innovative. He's what the province needs here.
Corey claims losing money, but gaining customers is worth it. Laura Brown, CTV News, Island View, New Brunswick.
The jet fuel crisis has canceled thousands of flights all over the world and has many travelers worried about how much money they could lose. CTV's Geneviève Boschman reports.
Stephanie Hallett-Lamoureux booked a dream Baltic family cruise 2 years ago. Now she worries the jet fuel crisis will scrub her flight plans.
I know that Air Canada will give us our money back, but the cruise, they won't.
Airlines are responsible for the flights, but not bus tours, cruises, and some travel insurance policies cover those costs, says expert Martin Firestone.
They don't make their cruise. They don't get to their Airbnb rental. They make a claim. They submit the receipts. They get reimbursed. That's now not going to be the way it's going to go.
The jet fuel crisis is now a known cause, and so policies purchased from now on, says Firestone, may not cover events linked to that reason.
You have to be wise enough to figure out your schedule and itineraries to give yourself the days you're going to need if it doesn't leave on the day it was supposed to.
Those who booked prior to the unprecedented crisis could also face roadblocks. Most policies have a war exclusion that voids insurance claims linked to conflicts, and insurers could potentially consider the jet fuel crisis a related cost of the war in the Middle East.
Call the insurer. The policy wording, sometimes it's hard to understand.
CA travel insurance expert Nadia Goyed says checking what your private, group, or credit card insurance covers is key. They may all be very different.
You saved up to pay for that trip from a long time. You don't want to have that all ruined.
Lamoureux says all she can do now is hope the flight will take off.
I definitely will not make this mistake again. I will make sure I am double and triple covered.
Experts say it's crucial that travelers understand what their policies cover, but also that they seek advice when necessary and that they pack their patience when they head out on trips now. Geneviève Boschman, CTV News, Montreal.
Gary is here now with your full weather forecast. Gary?
Lauren, I'm expecting encroachment of this advancing storm to be with us within, say, an hour, hour and a half. And with that, the potential of some thunderstorm activity. Today was slightly above seasonal. And in fact, the morning and early afternoon, rather pleasant, 17 degrees Celsius. Our average high for this time of the year, this day, 14. And we're still in the teens throughout parts of southwestern Ontario, double digits to the north and northeast of us, but along the 401 corridor, a bit cooler. But the story will be warm air clashing with cold air, and you'll note the brighter spots through the lower Great Lakes. A big storm is bringing blizzard conditions to parts of northern Alberta, as well as Saskatchewan and Manitoba. That's where the very strong winds and coldest air is circulating to produce snow and whiteout conditions. Yes, obviously that can happen in spring whenever the elements come together. And that same system is dragging this elongated cold front. And that's where the showers and thunderstorms have been. Now, Windsor-Essex towards our friends in Bell River, Lakeshore, they've already seen the showers and thunderstorm activity. We anticipate, as mentioned a little bit earlier, the potential of maybe thunderstorms about 40%, but 80% chance of at least an occurrence of rain. So we are getting wet. It's coming. We can see it with the satellite radar. Here's the projection we put together, a simulation of the spread and the amounts anticipated as we head into Saturday. I think there will still be a chance of rain behind the initial front. Call that post-frontal activity, and that will take us into early pre-dawn Saturday morning. Here's the breakdown for tonight. Still in the double digits, mild but wet. Again, a thunderstorm risk, but mostly showers through 8 o'clock, 13 degrees Celsius, down to 10 by 10 p.m., 8 and mostly showers, and easterly breeze sustained at around 20 km. So it's going to get windier and obviously wetter over the next few hours. Here's the breakdown for the next 7 days. Highs and lows anticipated for this time of the year. Our average high is about 15. The average low is 4. So compare the stats with the norms expected. The good news is the first day of the week technically is Sunday, and it starts off well. Sunny and warming up, mid to upper teens through Monday. And sunshine still part of the weather story. And then things cool off a bit. Mid-teens, still seasonal. Showers through the midweek, Tuesday into Wednesday morning. This time next week, 7 days from now, we could see single digits. It's going to cool off for a bit. The Midwest, showers tonight into tomorrow morning. The afternoon's cloudy, just cooler than seasonal. Sunny and beautiful Sunday, Monday. Temperatures warming up, could reach 20 degrees, in fact, in some areas on Monday. Tuesday, rain, cooler. Looking at lower teens and lower double digits by Thursday, and there's that cooler air mass moving in. Again, 7 days from now, Friday, 7's the high and 2 the low. Wherever you are, need the umbrella tonight into tomorrow morning, but sunshine will come for Sunday. Lauren?
Thanks so much, Gary. Coming up, the deadline for filing your income tax is almost here. The missteps that can cost you cash and how to avoid leaving money on the table. Turning to the latest on the trade war between Canada and the U.S., top American trade officials have threatened some form of enforcement action over the ongoing issue of wine and spirits. Several provinces pulled U.S. alcohol from stores last year after U.S. President Donald Trump started the trade war. Speaking before a congressional hearing on Wednesday, U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer warned there may have to be an enforcement action to deal with the issue. This comes as Canada's new ambassador to the U.S. says Canada is ready to start CUSMA negotiations. This year's income tax deadline is nearly upon us as last-minute filers rush to get their taxes done before April 30th. Experts say there are some deductions people often miss, and they may be handing over more money to the government than they need to. Here's CTV's John Benavalli Rao.
It is tax season, and we need to talk about taxes.
Online, all sorts of tax tips are offered up.
I somehow managed to reduce my taxes by like over $2,000.
With the filing deadline fast approaching.
Have you filed your income taxes yet? Yes, sir. Right away. They owed me money.
And the number one tip from experts, make sure you file by April 30th, because there's a late penalty of 5% on the balance owing, plus 1% for every additional month you delay up to a year.
If you have a balance owing on your tax return, the deadline is really important.
Tax expert Jerry Vitarato says the biggest change this year was the new lower tax rate on the lowest tax bracket, which will save the average filer $110. When it comes to credits and deductions, the tax system has more than 400. Among the medical expenses people forget to claim, prescription sunglasses. And when it comes to couples and charitable giving, it's usually best to have the highest earning spouse claim all of the donations.
If you bought your first home last year, you can claim it on your taxes.
First-time home buyers are reminded they can get a federal tax credit of up to $1,500. And experts say some don't realize if they moved for work or school, they can potentially deduct moving costs.
As long as they move 40 kilometers closer, you can actually deduct a lot of these moving expenses, including commission to sell your home, to get another home closer to your work, things like that.
Federato says the biggest problem he sees is that people forget to keep receipts for things like charitable donations, certain medical and childcare expenses, which should be kept in a box or folder.
The biggest mistake that people make is that they're just missing receipts. They're missing, claims that they can make because they can't find the receipts.
Meanwhile, if the government owes you money, you can ignore the filing deadline, but experts say it's best to get it done as soon as possible and use the refund to pay down debt or invest. John Venevalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index ended the week just a touch into negative territory. In Toronto, the TSX lost 9 points, and in New York, the Dow fell 80, but the Nasdaq gained 398. The Canadian dollar added a modest 0.05 of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold gained almost $17 an ounce, and oil fell $1.45 a barrel. And later on CTV News, we'll introduce you to an Edmonton man who is celebrating a 63rd birthday by walking 70,000 steps. We premiered a new episode of Leading London with Carlisle Fazette this week, sitting down with the Chief Executive Officer for Youth Opportunities Unlimited. Here's a clip from that conversation.
Youth Opportunities Unlimited to me is such an ambitious identity for an organization, and I mean that in the most complimentary sense.
Yeah.
And as we've just discussed, of the complexity of all the work that you do, I'm just curious about your feeling of the mission statement that your organization has in living up to that unlimited opportunities idea that you've set for yourself.
Well, it's why I came back. Really, it's why I came back. I actually said that there was only one organization I would have left my former employer for, and it was Youth Opportunities Unlimited. There's something that is so amazing about being able to spend my working day supporting the future of our community and being able to know that what I'm doing when I'm away from my family is making the community they grow up in better. So I am fully on board with YOU's mission. It's my only reason for being there.
I wanted to address Steve Cordes because I know YOU doesn't exist in its current state without his influence over those decades. Taking over for him, he said, "I'm retiring more easily knowing that it's somebody who understands the culture." What did it mean to you to step into the role that he had for so long?
Oh, it was a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
You know, at our recent breakfast, I said, Steve didn't just lead YOU, he built it, and he literally did build it. I think it was an honor that I was the one that was chosen because it was a pretty significant and extensive search. But I think it also is very helpful that Steve was and continues to be a mentor to me. So Steve's spirit is still, very much around.
Does he pop
youth
in
opportunities. Yeah, for sure he does. For sure he does. Yeah, you can see him having coffee at the cafe now and again, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
And to watch the full interview, you can go to our website, ctvnewslondon.ca, and click on Leading London. 8 little words in a social media post by Lisa Gretzky, MPP for Windsor West, is getting a lot of traction online. Gretzky wrote, "Doug Ford is corrupt. Like if you agree." So far, the post has received almost 3,000 likes. Hundreds of comments range from "that's his middle name" to "why don't you join the Conservative Party and replace Ford?" to "Doug Ford is the best premier ever." He says he can't wait to look out the biggest window on the International Space Station. Canadian astronaut Joshua Gutrick spoke today about traveling to the orbiting outpost later this year.
I feel a lot of excitement. I feel a lot of Canadian pride. I've personally been preparing specifically for this mission for close to 4 years now. The mission involves leaving Earth for 6 months, so it's a long time, and there's a lot of challenge wrapped up into getting ready for that. Some of it is psychological, just getting ready for the isolation, the time away, the risk management part. A lot of it, of course, is also very technical, learning to operate these systems, the vehicles, the space station itself. At the end of the day,
Gutrick is expected to launch no earlier than mid-September with 3 other crew members. It will be his first space mission, something he has dreamed about since he was 6 years old. Monday, lawyers will present a motion ahead of an upcoming inquest into the death of Justin Barraza, the Sarnia man who was shot and killed by London police on Richmond Row in 2021.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot of the day. Thanks to Kay Lang for this image. Expect rain and possible thunderstorms this early evening with showers. The weather story for Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon is cloudy and cool with a high of 10 degrees expected. Our norm for this time of the year is 15. Sunday and Monday, fair better, sunny both days. Highs of 16 and 18 degrees respectively.
There's some renewed hope about a possible second round of peace talks between Iran and the United States. Iran's foreign minister says he held a phone conversation with Pakistani officials about the ceasefire. He says they spoke about regional developments related to the ceasefire but gave no details. Pakistan has been trying to get American and Iranian officials back to the negotiating table. U.S. President Donald Trump has extended the current ceasefire indefinitely. The president has also announced that a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon will be extended after diplomatic talks at the White House.
We had a great meeting with the very high officials of Lebanon and very high officials of Israel, and we think that the president of Lebanon and the prime minister of Israel over the next couple of weeks will be coming here.
Trump says the truce between Israel and Hezbollah will continue for another 3 weeks. It was set to expire on Monday. A continuation of the ceasefire was a condition for Lebanon to keep negotiating for an end to the war. Learning how to manage money will soon be mandatory in Ontario high schools. Starting this fall, students in grade 10 will have to pass a financial literacy test in order to graduate. CTV's Tyler Fleming has the details.
For 17-year-old Noah Bertrand, money already matters.
You're starting to actually have expenses and things you have to pay for.
He works part-time and plans to study commerce and says learning the basics should be mandatory in high school.
The sort of transition between high school and the sort of real world, knowing a lot of that stuff about taxes and interest is very important.
Right now, learning about financial literacy is optional, but starting in September, students will need to pass a test in grade 10, scoring at least 70% to graduate.
I think it's a great idea.
The province says it's about balancing the books early, teaching teens how to budget, save, invest, and avoid scams. Parent Gaetan Purdy says it's long overdue.
When I was in high school, they did not teach that, so I think this program will help the kids help what we did our day-to-day lives financially.
The latest data from Statistics Canada shows younger Canadians carry nearly $1.70 owed for every dollar earned. Debts tied to school loans, credit cards, and car payments.
When you have knowledge about how your finances work, you can put guardrails in and say, okay, if things start going sideways, what do I do?
Money touches every part of life, and experts say learning discipline early is a skill young adults can take to the bank.
And they'll be able to say no to a lot of these things because you're exposed to it 24/7 now with your phones, which is good for merchandisers, not so good for consumers. So you have to know how to say no. And I think that's a big thing too with the literacy, is knowing what your limitations are.
Yeah, I've got a bit of like money put away, RESPs and all that.
For Bertrand, the calculation is simple. Understanding money now can pay out down the road. Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Weekend Spotlight, Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. I'm Sherry Flick, your host, inviting you to join me this Saturday at 8 a.m. We have someone coming in to talk about a common medical issue for men and women. That's Eurospot. Founder Aaron will be joining me. Also, what's new at Guess Where Trips and Big Brothers, Big Sisters of London and area. And Sean Irvin will be popping in to talk about a new project he has on the go. See you Saturday morning.
A new virtual reality program is helping seniors with dementia stay active. Researchers at Wilfrid Laurier University are working to make exercise both fun and therapeutic. CTV's Spencer Turcotte reports.
I'm reading my instructions.
It may look like a video game, but for some seniors living with dementia, it's a chance to reconnect. Inside the Adult Recreation Therapy Center in Brantford, 84-year-old Donna Nowacki slips on a virtual reality headset and suddenly she's no longer in the room. She's on the water.
Tricky, he moves. He takes turns very quickly.
Wilfrid Laurier University researchers watch along as her experience plays out in real time on a nearby TV. The game is called Seize the Day, and unlike other VR games, it's designed specifically to get older adults moving while sparking memories and engagement.
Participants can be engaged doing certain activities that we know they miss. We know they like doing. We know that they have been there before.
With movements like rowing, fishing, reaching, users build strength and coordination. But for those with dementia, the benefits go deeper. The immersive scenes are designed to feel familiar, calming, even nostalgic.
We have a cottage on Lake Erie, and so it did remind me of some of the lake activities that we did there.
We're doing it in a way that is therapeutically correct, as opposed to something that will potentially generate an injury.
Each motion is carefully designed alongside therapists, gradually increasing intensity without overwhelming the user. And there's a playful side too.
The one I caught 12 fish once. Yeah, 12 fish.
The game encourages users to beat their own score, turning therapy into something they actually want to do. For researchers, that motivation is key. Traditional rehab can feel repetitive, but this approach keeps people coming back.
I noticed change in self-confidence.
But the goal is much bigger than this room.
I'm collaborating with Sick Kids Hospital in a very similar project, in this case for children with ADHD.
While this session is focused on seniors with dementia, researchers say the same technology could be adapted for stroke recovery and children's mental health, turning exercise into escape and moments into memories. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Brantford.
An Edmonton man spent his birthday at the gym because he set a goal for himself to mark each year he has been alive. CTV's Nairman is on the biggest challenge he has chased so far.
Doug Bush spends a lot of time at the gym.
I'm a bit of a circus freak at the gym for some people because they see me here all the time.
He's earned himself a reputation among other gym goers.
I see him every single day. When I arrive at the gym, he's already here. When I leave, he's still walking.
Bush works out every day, weightlifting and walking.
I'll do 75 to 100 laps. Then I'll lift weights for 2 to 3 hours. And then I'll lift, I'll walk after. If I didn't get to 100, I try to achieve 100 laps before I leave the gym.
Bush tries to walk 40,000 steps a day. However, on his birthday, he challenges himself to walk the age he's turning, often going beyond that goal. It's his 62nd birthday today.
I did 62,000 on my 60th birthday, and then on my 61st birthday last year I did 64,000. So I thought this year I'll push it to 70.
Bush started his Steps Challenge during the pandemic. He says what started off as something to do grew into something bigger.
I'm fitter than I was when I was 40. I feel fit, I feel good, I don't feel my age.
His dedication to the gym has people talking.
Every single day, the consistency to walk that many steps, to get that much exercise in, I can't imagine it. You know, going to the gym myself is just already hard enough.
The Canadian Medical Association Journal says to aim for at least 7,000 steps a day. It's something the 62-year-old encourages.
Get up and do something every day. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to do what I do, but you'll feel that much better.
He says if you're going to talk the talk, you've got to walk the walk, which he does every day towards his yearly goal of 15 million steps. Nara Manisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
That's it for us. For your latest local updates, you can always head to our website. Our next newscast is tonight at 11. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.